Love Hard on Netflix was cute, but troublesome, if you will. And before I explain, consider this your spoiler warning because I will be talking spoiler-ish about this movie, so you've been warned. Now, let's get on with the review. And I'm going to say it's a cute movie. It has very likable characters from everyone involved in the cast. And the cast did a great job in acting. The pacing was on point. It was kind of funny. The cinematography in this movie was very beautiful, very grand. They definitely made homage to New York and to Los Angeles in the beginning of showing the beauties of both locations. Mind you, not New York. I know when I say New York, people automatically go to Town Square and stuff, but it's like outside New York in the boroughs or, in the fields if you want to. Probably not the fields, but anyways, they make a really good impression in the way it was shot. The cinematography was very good in this movie. And again, the premise of the movie, I get what they were doing, and they did ultimately make you forget about the horrors of online dating. But this movie is about online dating, and not only online dating, but catfishing. And that's where I say it's a cute movie, but troublesome. So we all know that online dating is a minefield, trying to navigate, through just the swipe culture that we have now, and how easy it is to people just turn over dates like it's nobody's business. I don't think ever in history have we been dating this much or just hooking up so much that these apps like Tinder, Hinge, Plenty of Fish, etc. have put us in what now many are calling a hookup culture. And this movie, basically the plot is that there's this woman in LA and she is looking for love through dating app, but she's also a writer and she's blogging about her dating experience. And there's actually just go on TikTok, just go on Instagram, just go on Facebook. There's especially on TikTok, and even on YouTube, there's women and men that actually blog or put their experience out there as far as their own personal dating experience, and people love it. And she's basically one of those. She puts all of her, at least her love life, her dating love life, and just like we do in real world, people love that. People love listening or reading or hearing about other people's problems, because in some weird way you feel like you're not alone and other people are dealing with the same thing you are. So she's looking at all these apps and going on bad dates and whatnot, but then bam, she meets this gorgeous guy, beautiful cheekbones, beautiful eyes, just the profile's on point, the body's on point, the photos on point, everything's on point, right? So they go on, there's like a little montage, so you don't really know the time scale. I think it was probably like a few months they were talking back and forth, and she ended up having feelings for him without even meeting him. And her friend says, hey, why don't you go out and surprise him? Or she says, I want to go out and surprise him for the holidays. And her friend's like, yeah, it's a great idea. He's so handsome. He's so fine. Da, 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 da. So she flies all the way to something lake. I can't remember the name of this damn city. But again, it's not New York, but she flies to New York. Lake Placid is what it's called, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Lake Placid and New York. And when she gets there, the family greets her. She's like, oh my God, this is going to be like the love story that I've always wanted. And boom, she's gotten catfish. So of course she freaks out and she wants to leave and whatnot. And they develop a deal, like, because she's so, there was a scene, she goes to the bar and the guy of the pictures that the catfish was using ends up being in that bar. So then a little escapade happens, but they come up with a deal that he says, "Hey, just pretend to be my girlfriend until New Year's, and I'll help you get this guy." And so then she becomes a catfish because what she thought she liked about him was obviously the catfish, played by Jimmy Wang, and the character's Josh, basically. So, she fell in love with who Josh really was, but then she was really interested in Tag, which is the guy's profile picture that Jimmy was using. So they come up with a scheme and saying, "Hey, I'll make sure you're his girlfriend, you're Tang's girlfriend, if we just pretend to be mine." So, like many of these movies, they end up, going through all these different adventures or mishaps and stuff. Towards the end, the family finds out that this has all been a hoax, it's been a ruse. And just like every cliche love story, she finds at the end that love was there all along, right in front of her, in her catfish, Jimmy Wang. Right? So that's basically the plot, give or take a couple of things. But go check out the movie if you want more, just to see what. It's not really a long movie. It's like an hour and 45 minutes, so it's not a long watch. And it actually flies by. Like I said, the pacing was great. So it's a cute movie, right? But that's where the troublesome part is. So we know in normal life, catfishing is one of the, not only the weirdest parts of online dating, but in some instances, a very dangerous part in online dating. There's many, the Craigslist killer. There was an incident with Tinder and guys like, attempting to do things, and actually some that attempted rapes, and they actually down outright rape or attempted kidnappings. Like, you don't just Google, as far as saying, Google something like online dating horror stories, and you will just hear it. And people have committed suicide because of catfishing. They have lost, like they have had mental breakdowns. Like, it's a serious problem with people going out and putting fake personas and someone falling in love with this. And this story makes it seem like, or this movie makes you want to believe that even if you are these guys or girls that are catfishing, other people because you feel they're out of your league, or you can never attract someone like that, hey, if you do it long enough and maybe you do, get in contact with them, but then in that contact, meeting them in real life, that they'll see you for who you are. And that's just not the way it works. Humans are such a visual creature. And when you see something, you want to buy it, you want to get it, you want to get, have it be yours. But when you catfish someone, the relationship starts on a betrayal. And this movie, though it is cute, again, hats out to the cast for doing a great job acting it, and for a very strong script that led you to in this little adventure that these characters were going on. But the catfishing itself is such a bad way to go about this. And I get it, they're trying to make fun of the online dating alongside with the catfishing, but it's just that's the problem, that we in the real world society that use online dating, a lot of these celebrities don't use online dating. We know the horror stories. How many people have been catfished? I've been on several dates when I asked the question, that women just tell me, "Oh yeah, I've been catfished here. He told me this. He told me he was tall and he ended up being short. He ended up telling like the weirdest stuff that you're catfishing," and you're always like, why? And then the first thing is they feel unsafe. They feel like they've been violated, even though they meet up in a public square and stuff like that. Like, it's just that easy to lure someone out with just a couple of photos. And depending on how much rapport you build with them, some women will actually show up to people's houses, which then becomes, or in women and men, I'm not gonna pick a sex, but mostly women, they'll show up to this catfish's house, and then the unthinkable happens. And that's where I think this movie misses the mark and is tone deaf to what the realities are of online dating and the horribleness that is catfishing. Because again, a simple Google search could have nipped this in the butt, and they could have taken this just on the online dating aspect of it and not really dealt with the whole catfishing. But this movie was centered on the catfish aspect of online dating, which was just a bad way to go. Like I said, just it seems tone deaf to why catfishing is so troublesome, and why catfishing, stealing someone's identity, is bad. Pretending to be someone else is bad. Again, the psychological, the physical, the emotional pain that those kind of experiences happen and people feel is something that shouldn't be glorified and shouldn't be put on screen. With all that being said, my rating for this movie is a C+. If you would have taken the catfish out and went another avenue and still had this same story, this movie could have easily been a B minus, or maybe even a B, a solid B, with the way it was acted, the way the pacing was, the cinematography. It does so many good things, but in trying to be hip, trying to be modern, trying to bring that aspect of online dating, it completely misses the mark. And again, with all that being said, this is a great date movie. This is not to bash on the actors. It's well represented. You have Asians, there's African Americans in there, there's Mexicans in this movie. It's very well represented, very diversified, and it's cute. It's a cute movie. And if you're out there, you know, for a good date movie, or you and your wife, you and your girlfriend, you and your boyfriend, you and your husband, you know, you want to have a nice movie night, I definitely recommend this. Now, this is not for kids, so don't have your kids watch it, because there's a lot of vulgar language in this movie, especially from grandma. Hats off to grandma, because she has no chill. But anyways, those are just my thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Have you ever been catfished? Let me know. I'm just kidding. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And like always, that's a wrap.